companions, radiallahu anhu, that they would sit so close to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and not to again offend anyone, but the way the Sahaba Kiram would sit whenever, I'm not obviously not the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but whenever the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would speak, the Sahaba Kiram would sit with such focus, steely focus the likes that have never been seen before. It's been described in narrations. Birds would sit upon the heads of the companions. They would perch. When birds perch, it's only on still things. Steely, cold focus on what the Prophet ﷺ is saying. Not just how the Prophet ﷺ is saying it. Where is the Prophet ﷺ putting emphasis? Is the Prophet ﷺ using any emotion? Using any expressions? Any signs? And without their steely focus, we wouldn't have the corpus amounts of information about the Prophet ﷺ. So we should follow that example. Steely focus. Adab for the Prophet ﷺ. Forget me. Right? Whenever the next speaker comes. Right? Whenever your Imam Sahib speaks. Whenever your teacher is teaching you. The Prophet ﷺ or the Prophets ﷺ, they didn't leave, or the Prophet ﷺ didn't leave money behind as inheritance. It wasn't wealth. Our goal in this life, most of us, is wealth. I want to become rich, I want to have a nice car. For me, it's whatever new Ferrari is out, to be honest. Right? That's my favourite car. Company, should I say. But then I understand the difference between desiring that and going totally that direction, or doing my duties as a Muslim. Unfortunately, we've lost our way. We have many RS3s on the roads, very nice cars, many 1 Series, A45 AMGs, etc. We have all them on the roads, mashallah. Nice popping exhaust when they put their foot down. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. But we must understand that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam left behind light. That light was in form of knowledge. The inheritance of the Prophets alayhi wa sallam is knowledge. Whenever you see a scholar, not me, whenever you see a scholar, understand that scholars are the inheritors of the Prophets alayhi wasallam. It's a big statement. What did they leave behind? Knowledge. And if you've studied, then you'll know al-ilmu nurun. That light is knowledge. Knowledge is light. Knowledge is not, I sit there, my teacher's reading a book, he's saying some words, I'm listening, and that's it. This is not knowledge in its true essence. Knowledge is what's passed from the teacher's heart to the heart of the student. We must, as students, believe that our teacher, the speaker, the imam, the maulana, the mufti, whoever is in front of us, they are emanating that light in every single direction. It's not up to me, am I a vessel to receive that light? Am I a vessel to receive that knowledge? Will the knowledge that the Prophet ﷺ, that he's left behind, enter into my heart? And what we find, especially nowadays, unfortunately, and this is a pandemic amongst us all, we have the knowledge of many things that are haram and halal, but we don't act upon them, and that is because the light has not settled into our hearts. What's happened is we've listened to words. We've memorized words. None of that has entered where it should have. This is the problem. We have identified the problem. Now we need to solve this. We need to become vessels that are able to accept that light. How do we become vessels that accept this light? Because it's nights like this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's doors of mercy are open. He's waiting and ready to forgive. We need to become vessels that can then attain His forgiveness. We need to become vessels that can attain the light of His beloved Habib sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If I remember correctly, it was Imam al-Shafi'i, rahimahullah ta'ala. He was studying for one of his lessons, and he spoke to his teacher in kind of concerned that I don't feel the spirituality, the light in this lesson. I feel like something's wrong. Teacher goes to him, I'm going to give you one piece of advice, and that should solve it. Do not commit sins. Do not commit sins. Stay away from sinning. Then you will be a vessel of light. If you want to know the effect of not even just sinning, something that's disliked, on knowledge, I forget which scholar it is, and it's a famous story. It's completely gone out of my head, but I'll tell you anyway. He was walking along the road, and what happened is his gaze went upon the ankle of a woman. It was just a simple one look, very quick gaze by accident, and looked away. So it's not even classed as a sin. And this scholar, rahimahullah ta'ala, he would remember his books, his lessons, by just reading the page once. His memory was that strong. What happened after this moment, it took him 2 times. You might think, 2 times, remember this is a 50% or 100% decrease. It now taking him 2 times to read over that same page. And he asked the Shaykh, why is it taking me longer? Shaykh had insight. It's because you looked. And even that was an accidental look. So imagine, as generations have gone on, if you've studied any amount of ahadith or usul hadith, you'll understand that the memorization capabilities of our companions, or the companions of the Prophet ﷺ, the tabi'een, is off the charts. Their weak memorization compared to us is the greatest memorization we've ever come across. But as generations have gone down, as it's watered down, we see our memories have become, you all know the reality. I can barely remember a thing myself. This shows the stark decline that we've fallen into. When I talk about light, that's missing. It's the sins that we commit. And if we do commit sins, remember, we are humans. We're gonna slip up. We're not the Prophets alayhim as-salam. For the Prophets alayhim as-salam, you must understand it is impossible for them to sin. Not that they didn't sin, it's impossible for them to sin. This is our belief, make sure you understand this. For us, we are insan. Insan meaning humans. If you know a bit of Arabic, you know insan has the same root letters as nisyan. If you understand what nisyan means, it means forgetfulness, so we're intrinsically linked with forgetfulness. This is why we have reminders. Usually a masajid will have gatherings every single week. This is why you should attend them. Where, like, you could say phones. You charge your phone every single day. When are you going to charge yourself? You know how many people, especially Muslims, they have more care for their phone than they do themselves. When we get a phone, first thing, I need a nice cover. Protect it, make sure it doesn't break. Okay, make sure it's got a screen protector, right?